The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix this year was pure chaos in the best way possible. Right from the start, Max Verstappen wasn't messing around. He pulled off a gutsy move through Tamburello, driving past Piastri and taking the lead like a true champion. Ferrari came alive on race day after a painful Saturday, and Williams? Yeah, they were flying both cars back in the points and looking stronger than ever. It was one of those races where everything happened. Strategy twists, safety cars, and battles all over the track. So if you missed it or just want a quick refresher, let's take a look back at all the hottest happenings and highlights from a wild weekend at Imola. So now that we know this race was wild, let's rewind a bit and talk about how it all started. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix went down on May 18th at none other than Imola, and if you know this track, you know it's no joke. It's tight, technical, and absolutely unforgiving. Drivers live for the thrill here. I mean, just listen to what Gasly said during testing. He called it one of the best experiences he's ever had in an F1 car. And Kvyat? He was buzzing around corners like Acque Minerali, saying how fast and intense it feels. So yeah, Imola brings the heat. The build-up to the race had fans buzzing. Ferrari was under pressure big time. It's their home race. They had the whole crowd behind them. But after that disappointing Saturday, where both Leclerc and Hamilton didn't even make it to Q3, still, the Tifosi showed up in full force, and you could feel the energy in the air. Up at the front, Oscar Piastri was the man to beat after nailing pole in qualifying. But Max Verstappen was right there, breathing down his neck in P2, and you just knew he wasn't going to sit back and chill. And yes, don't sleep on Williams. Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz were both looking sharp, starting solidly in the top 10. The team's been building momentum all season, and this weekend, it felt like they had something brewing. Everything about this setup screamed we were in for a banger. And trust me, Imola delivered. And then, lights out. Oscar Piastri got off the line clean. No doubt about it. But Verstappen? Man, he had other plans. He came flying down into turn 1 and just sent it through the Tamburello chicane. We're talking zero hesitation, pure instinct. It was one of those moves where you could tell Max didn't even plan it. He just saw the tiniest window and thought, yeah, I'm going for it. And he made it slick. Slipped around the outside like it was nothing and took the lead right there, before the race even had time to settle. Russell looked like he might jump in too with a strong start, but backed out last second, probably realizing Max was already making that corner his. That move, that was championship level stuff. It wasn't just fast, it was fearless. The kind of moment that tells the whole grid, I'm in control today. From that point on, Verstappen was in the zone. Clean air ahead, no one in his way, and with every lap, he just kept building the gap. That turn 1 dive didn't just get him the lead, it set the whole tone for his race. With Verstappen out front and setting the pace, the rest of the field had to play catch-up, and that's where the strategy started to kick in. Oscar Piastri, who had started from pole, rolled the dice early. He pitted on lap 14 for hard tires, hoping to undercut the pack and make the one stop work in his favor. But honestly, it just didn't play out. The timing was off, and instead of gaining ground, he ended up stuck behind traffic, watching Verstappen stretch the lead even more. Then came the first twist. Esteban Ocon pulled over with an issue on lap 29, and the virtual safety car came out. And Max couldn't have timed it better. He dived into the pits right as the VSC was called, got a nearly free stop, and came back out with a massive 20-second lead over Norris. That right there, textbook Red Bull execution. Just when things started to settle again, boom, another shakeup. Kimi Antonelli's Mercedes broke down and parked it on lap 46. Full safety car. And just like that, Verstappen's comfortable lead, gone. It was game on. Verstappen, Norris, and a few others took the chance to pit again. But Piastri? He stayed out. And suddenly, we had a fresh tires versus old tires showdown setting up for the final laps. Everything was reset. The field was bunched up, the gaps erased, and what we got next was basically a 10-lap sprint to the finish line. Now let's talk about Ferrari, because this weekend was a full-on emotional roller coaster for the Tifosi. Saturday? Painful. Both Leclerc and Hamilton missed out on Q3. They were starting way back in P11 and P12. At their home race, no less. The fans were out in full force, waving flags, packing the stands. And honestly, the mood was pretty low after qualifying. Even Fred Vasseur called it a tough day and admitted the team didn't execute well. But Sunday? That's where the story flipped. From the moment the lights went out, both Leclerc and Hamilton were on a mission. Charles was scrapping for positions early. even forcing Gasly off into the gravel at one point. And Hamilton? He was dialed in, making moves, managing tires, and climbing the order like a man possessed. Every overtake, every gap closed, the crowd got louder. You could hear the cheers echoing through Imola every time a red car made a pass. By the final laps, they were both running in the top 6, Hamilton finishing 4th, Leclerc not far behind, and after the mess of Saturday, that felt like a win in itself. Ferrari fans were crushed just 24 hours earlier, but by Sunday, they were back on their feet, roaring again in the grandstands. Finally, let's take a second to appreciate Williams, because these guys are seriously on a roll. Once again, they showed up, fought hard, and walked away with double points, and this time, it wasn't just survival, it was full-on, elbows-out racing. Alex Albon? He was in the mix all race long. At one point, he was running as high as P3, and even after the late safety car reshuffle, he was still charging. He went wheel-to-wheel with Leclerc, almost took P4, and even though a trip through the gravel knocked him back a bit, he still recovered to finish P5. That's not luck, that's a driver on fire. On the other side, Carlos Sainz pulled off a smart early stop, undercutting Alonso, and kept pushing forward with some clean, aggressive overtakes. His tire management was spot on, especially after staying out during the chaos and still bringing it home in P8. And let's be real, this is no longer a fluke. Williams isn't just picking up scraps at the back anymore. They're up there, fighting Ferraris, making bold strategy calls, and proving that this pace, it's real. This team has momentum, confidence, and 2 drivers delivering week after week. And honestly, it's been a while since we could say that about Williams, but it feels really good to say it now. Now, stepping back and looking at the big picture, this win was huge for Max Verstappen. After Imola, he's closed the gap in the championship and is now just 9 points behind Norris, who's sitting second. And with Piastri still leading the standings, McLaren isn't just in the title fight, they're right at the center of it. That double podium? It keeps the pressure on. Red Bull's got the wins, McLaren's got the consistency, and Ferrari's not out of this either, especially with performances like we saw on Sunday. And yep, we've got to say it, Williams is starting to lurk in that conversation. I mean, it's early, but with the way they're scoring and fighting, who's to say they won't be part of the equation down the line? This season is shaping up to be an absolute thriller. McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and maybe, just maybe, Williams nipping at their heels. So that wraps up the madness from Imola. One race weekend we won't forget anytime soon. Bold moves, smart strategy, underdog comebacks. It had everything we love about Formula One packed into one race weekend. What was your favorite moment? Verstappen's insane dive? Ferrari's recovery? Or Williams fighting like it's 2014 again? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. Subscribe for more F1 content and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. Next stop, Monaco. And if Imola was this good, just imagine the chaos waiting in the streets of Monte Carlo. We'll see you there. Until then, cheers!